So first off, I'm just going to start. I want to know, how long have you been the head coach at Marshall?
This is my 18th year coming up.
Absolutely. So what brings you back every year? What is it about Marshall that is so special?
Oh, I think Marshall's a great place to raise a family and have kids. We have that small town atmosphere. We're, a town about 14,000 people, but we got Schwann's ice cream, home of that in town, and also we have a Division II college, Southwest Minnesota State. So we have all the perks of city life, a lot of restaurants, businesses with the college and so on, but we still get that small school feel a little bit.
I love that. Kind of describe to me in terms of high school football with the community, how important and how big of a deal is coming out on Friday nights to the area to see these kids play.
Oh, it's a big deal in our town. Somebody asked a lot about, during the Trey interviews before, what do kids do? I said they play sports. I mean, a town of 14,000 people, you play sports, and for us on Friday night games for playoffs and stuff, we've had 5,000 people at our games. So, we have about 800 kids in high school. We have 115 of them out for football this year, and 20 girls that want to be managers. So we get great input. I think our record the last year, 11 years, has been 79-8, I believe, 79-8. So we've had a lot of success. So people turn out, they support. We got one school in town, so it's all about Marshall High School.
I love that. How great of an environment do you think that is for a young person just to grow up in and to be able to go to a high school like that where sports and going to games is just really important?
Oh, I think the atmosphere we set up for kids and the experience they have is first class. We play at the college field, so we got two turf fields we practice on, and people come out and support, and it's just a lot of fun.
When did you first meet Trey and his family?
I've known Trey for a long time. My son Brad was actually 3 years older than Trey, so Trey lived a block away. So when they were little kids, they used to play baseball in the backyard. We had the yard with a home plate in the backyard, so they would come over and play baseball until they got big enough and started pounding off the church across the street, across the yard there a little bit. So I've known Trey for a long time. I first started coaching him. I run all the youth camps in the summer, and so I really remember him at football camp probably as a third grader.
Wow, I love that. At what point did you realize there was kind of something different about him, something special about his athletic ability?
Well, he was a competitor all the way. If you've ever read stories or met his dad Carlton, was a D2 All-American across the street here, and then was defense coordinator there. Actually had a tryout at camp with the 49ers. Intensity comes from that, and we knew he was pretty skilled as a young kid growing up. I remember telling my wife as a freshman, Trey's going to be a special player. Now, at that time, we didn't even know if he was a quarterback for sure yet at that time, but he just had that feel, that vibe about him. Obviously, he was a great athlete, and he liked to spend a lot of time at it. When you put those two traits together, you're going to come up with something special.
If you kind of knew in his freshman year that he was going to be special, at what point did he really transition into varsity and start getting those varsity reps?
He was still sharing quarterback as a freshman, and as a sophomore, he was a shared quarterback on JV. And then our week 8 game, our varsity game, our senior quarterback dislocated an elbow, and we went with Trey to come in, and it was our one loss of the year actually, and we were a couple touchdowns behind, but Trey brought us back as a comeback, and then threw an interception right at the end. But then Trey took over for our playoffs, and he took us to the state tournament, and that year and the next 3 state tournaments. So I think we had the only losses we had when Trey was quarterback were all at the state tournament.
Wow. How impressed were you that he was really able to step into that role in a high pressure situation and really, come out there with confidence even as a young person?
Uh, I don't know if we thought about it too much at the time. We knew Trey and we knew his demeanor. Uh, I always used to tell his mom he seemed so calm and confident. And she goes, "Oh, he's so nervous." I said, "Well, he didn't portray that. He comes out and carries himself well." And I think he's the same guy from reading things and hearing things from the 49ers coaches, and that he comes in confident. He's not a loud, boisterous guy. He just comes in and he's confident. And people are attracted to him. He works hard and does things right all the time.
As he went off to college, what was kind of your reaction as he started developing some traction, getting more eyes, and really developing into a higher level talent?
Well, we knew as a junior in high school he was. I thought he was a big time quarterback. I thought he'd be playing in the Big Ten somewhere, and for whatever reason, I don't know if our size school kept people away a little bit on a quarterback. Uh, but he wouldn't get the recruiting we thought. He went to the big camps, the Nike camps, and Under Armour camps, and things, and some of the name guys were getting more reps than he was. But uh, he went to, I won't call him out, one of the Big Ten schools, and Trey was also a great safety for us and a punt returner, and they labeled him an athlete. So they offered him a scholarship as an athlete, which they talked to me and he said, we're not interested. Trey's a guy that's going to want the ball in his hands, and when you get him, you're going to want the balls in hand. He's a quarterback, even though he's a great defensive player and kick returner. He's a quarterback for us. So we knew junior in high school. When he went off to college, I was very comfortable with NDSU's coaches. You know, they had Easton Stick was there at the time, and nothing but good things there. And of course, Carson Wentz before him. Coach Edberg, their quarterback coach, was an NFL guy, and at the time, Coach Kleiman and Coach Messingham, their head coach and OC, were both from Waterloo, Iowa. So I knew him as kids growing up. So I knew he was in great hands there.
Maybe being passed over by those Power Five schools, by the Big Ten, do you think that makes his story maybe even a little bit more special to be able to take the cards that he was dealt and turn it into something special for him?
Well, all those things there motivate Trey. He's just a driven guy. I saw the 49ers, somebody put out there that he watched more film on the iPad thing than anybody else in camp. And that's just Trey. As I said, he was always first one here, last one to leave. So he's kept those work habits, and that's just who he is.
When it came to the NFL draft, when he went so early, obviously there were, predictions and mock drafts that had him going early, but when it really did happen, what was your reaction?
We had Trey Day here in town. We had a bunch of things in school. Everybody wore jerseys, and we did Trey trivia during the day. And then the town had Trey Day that evening. So a bunch of the local bars and restaurants had specials and going on. And we had 3 TV camera stations following us live as coaches all night. So it was there. I thought he was going to the 49ers just from the things I had been hearing, and but when it happens, it was just surreal that a kid from Marshall High School is going 3rd round pick, and Trey was 20 at the time of the draft, so it was 3 years ago he'd been in high school for us, so it was fun. Like, we had a youth camp the other day for K through 6, and 10 years ago Trey was there as a 6th grader, so it's been a lot of fun, just surreal feeling.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter the picture from the youth camp with all those kids wearing Trey jerseys. Do you think that speaks to just how special he is to the community and just the kind of person that he is?
Oh, I think he's a great role model for us, and like I said, our program's has been strong. We've got 10 guys that played Division I football the last 8 years from a town of 800 kids. We're going to have a couple more probably going to the NFL coming up. So it just breeds more. The more success our guys have at the next level, and of course, Trey, the NFL, it makes young kids want to be there. It's fun to come out, and one time Trey was acting like some of the old Marshall High School kids, Alex Fensky and stuff in the backyard, and now they all want to be Trey Lance. So it just breeds for the next era of Marshall football.
I really love that. He's drawn so many eyes in the preseason. Of course, there's no word on if he'll start week 1 of the regular season, but just how excited are you to see him kind of step into this new role, to be able to take this next step in his career and really, hopefully take off running?
Oh, it's just fun, and it's rewarding, refreshing. All the things we hear, the media things and the coaches about Trey that we've known forever, and a lot of our kids come out with those kind of work habits, that kind of attitude. Team first, put in the work, and it's just fun to have everybody else see what Marshall High School kids are about.
I love that. And what you've seen from the beginning, right?
Yeah, we've seen that from the beginning, and we've had a lot of players, with those kind of attitudes and success, and Trey's just taken it to a new level and created a lot of attention for our program and Marshall athletes, our Marshall community.
Off of the field, how would you describe him as a person? What kind of guy is he?
Oh, it's quiet leader. I remember all the scouts and stuff calling right away, and they weren't asking about his talent level. They're asking what kind of person he was, and had he been in any trouble. I said no. He has no detentions, no tardies, nothing like that. He is a leader. He was a leader of our Fellowship of Christian Athletes, not only in our school, but he was a regional leader for Fellowship of Christian Athletes. So, as I said, people gravitate toward him. He's a quiet, confident guy, and he always portrays.
I love that. I wish I could say that I had no detentions and no tardies.
We got a lot of others that we can double that with. So,
I love that. Is there anything else you want to mention that I didn't touch on, maybe?
no, I just think Trey's work habits were taught by his mom, Carlton, Angie, early on, and he's carried that. And we always hope Trey Lance is going to be Trey Lance. And so far, he's kept that attitude. Everything we've heard, and we try and text every couple of weeks, and he's enjoying it and working hard. And as I told people who drafted him, that he's going to be the face of the franchise. And now he knows the 49ers. I'm guessing 15 years. He's still only 21 years old. So I think he's going to have a great career.